A couple of days ago, I talked about the platform OneForma and whether or not I thought it had potential to be a side hustle for me to try and retire early. So all of that night and yesterday, I should say, I was working on qualifications and surveys to try and get better paying jobs. So here is my experience and why I'm a little disappointed. Hey everyone, it's Road to Retire, the channel where I try to retire early. Pretty self-explanatory, right? On my last video, which was Tuesday of this week, it is now Thursday, I said that I'm going to give the OneForma platform a shot and let everyone know my experience. Now, you might be thinking, Road to Retire, it's only been 2 days. How can you already have an update for us? Well, I do, because that night I did a lot of qualification and survey tests along with yesterday, and I was struggling to get any projects. And let me explain too that there are a ton of qualifications. So let me show the webpage quick. So right now you're looking at the certifications essentially to get higher paying jobs. And right now I'm scrolling. Look at all of these certifications that you can do. Now, to be fair, there is some common theme here. And I will say, OneForma is going to be the platform for you if you are a translator. So English to Spanish to Chinese, whatever the case may be. If you can speak multiple languages, if you're bilingual, fluently bilingual, this will be the platform for you. These type of tasks pay a lot better. I am not bilingual by any means. I took a little bit of Spanish in high school and college, but I have not spoken it in over 10 years, so my Spanish is terrible. I do not know any words from any other languages. So obviously, for me, this type of work is just not gonna happen. So what other work is there? Let's click the Jobs tab here. So for me personally, there's data collection, and this is where it's like you do phone calls, or this one is like you take 150 pictures of your house, but the problem is you need an iPhone 12 or newer, and I don't have an iPhone, I have a Samsung Galaxy, so right away, that's one of the jobs eliminated. These two, there are okay, but again, there are qualifications you have to take, and these qualifications are not short, and most of them do not pay out. And the thing that frustrated me, maybe this is other people's experience too, when I was taking qualification tests, a lot of the instructions weren't there. So it's like, they say like reference the instructions, and I would go to find the instructions and they weren't posted anywhere. It's like either the link was dead, or half the time I would go for a qualification and it would say, oh, we're not qualifying for this anymore or any longer. The task is no longer available to open for the public. If that's the case, just take it off the website. I don't understand why you would keep it up there. But those are available to me. There's these judging grading, which is like music. And again, half the stuff isn't even active yet. You can see right here, project not active, not active, not active, not active. So it's like, OneForma gives the illusion like there is a ton of work available for you, but in reality, that's just not the case. It's mainly translation. There are some annotation jobs, and there's also a search engine job, which I'm about to get into. And if we scroll over, because there's still more, look, translation, 108 opportunities. So again, they pay well. If you are bilingual, fluently, there are opportunities on OneForma for you. So if you're good at translation, this is the site for you. It can't work for me because I'm not bilingual. But I really want to hone in on this next part because it is scarily similar to Appen, that site, which I refuse to do. And let's get into it. Okay, so this is one of the projects that I got invited to participate in. The other one was a Spanish translation project, so which I just said I don't have experience and I can't do. So this is Project Lightspeed, and this is a search engine evaluation project. Okay, so I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I would be interested in doing something search engine related. But then I remembered, this is exactly, and I mean like exactly, the work that was on Appen. And I'm pretty sure it's the same project managers, just on a different site. But there's two things that really bug me about this, and similar to Appen, it's the hours that you need to work on the project, and it's also the pay itself. So listen to this. You are available for at least 20 hours per week. Schedule is totally flexible. You decide to work. So it's like, okay, yeah, you decide to work, but if you have to work a minimum of 20 hours, that's not chump change. Like that is, if you're doing a 5-day work week, that's 4 hours of production work each day. It's not like that's 4 hours of you like, doing the task for a half hour, taking a 15-minute break, and then doing another 15 and another little break. No, that is 4 hours of production times. I want to make that very clear. There's no breaks in here. 20 hours per week. I work a 9 to 5. YouTube for me is a side hustle. Doing all my side hustles that I broadcast on this channel, which by the way, if you're new, follow along, you'll see which ones I do. 20 hours additional on top. It's just not worth it. But hey, maybe if I'm psycho enough, if the pay was good, I would say, screw it. Let's try it for a week. Let's do 20 hours and let's get paid, right? Let's make bank. But here we go. All hours will be paid at $14 an hour. So let's just pull out the calculator. I already know the answer, but I want to show it on screen. $280 a week if you were going to do 20 hours at $14 an hour. $280 a week. That, for the amount of $280 for 20 hours of work on a side hustle, is not good at all. So just as a reference, annotation.tech, which I do not need to work 20 hours a week. Thank God. I work like a maximum of like 1 hour a week because I'm so busy nowadays with my job. $280 a week. The jobs on annotation.tech pay me $30 an hour right now. Now I know that's high for a lot of people. They don't have these type of high paying jobs at annotation.tech, but they still pay around 20 to 25 if you get involved. But for me personally, because again, why am I, gonna do this if it's not making the most sense for me? I want to be honest here. $280 a week, if I divide that by $30 an hour, that would only take me 9.3 hours to get on annotation.tech versus 20 hours on OneForma doing this type of project. And not only that, this project is not fun. Search engine evaluation, it's not really like it's a fun project. And to do 20 hours of production, so 20 hours of physical work, meaning like if you're factoring in breaks and whatnot, it's probably like a 22-hour work week, right? And that is not fun for something that's paying $14 an hour. You're better off going to like an Amazon warehouse at that point if you're desperate for jobs where that job will also suck and be repetitive, but at least you'll get paid more and you'll get some benefits out of it. I don't know if this is similar to Appen, where Appen was W-2. I don't know if because it's essentially the same project, if it's also W-2, but nonetheless, minimum working of 20 hours a week and $14 an hour just automatically, it makes me not want to work for OneForma if that's like the best that they're going to have to offer me. It's like I feel like as like an accountant and someone who's been in the finance field and corporate for like 10 years, I have qualifications that make me a good remote worker because I'm a hybrid employee as it is right now. And it's like, I am very comfortable. It's like, I can put my resume on these sites too. And it's just, it doesn't lead anywhere. And you get these type of brain dead jobs that don't pay that well. And you're locked in for $20 an hour or 20 hours a week, excuse me. It's just not working. Now it's like, clearly it's not working because they're now offering referral bonuses where you'll get $100. I'm assuming they have to earn like $100 worth or something or whatever. But if they're firing out referrals, then it's clearly not a task that many people are willing to do willingly without some kind of extra incentive beyond $14 an hour. So OneForma, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be for me. And for me personally, this might not apply to you because A, you might be bilingual and you can make good money on this site. B, maybe no, because I was going to say maybe you can do it internationally, but you have to be based in the USA. So I was going to say $14 an hour can go a long way in some countries, but if you have to be USA based and they ban you for a VPN, that throws that out the window. It just doesn't pay high enough. And in my situation where I have access to annotation.tech, which pays $30 an hour, and I'm not locked in on any type of scheduling mandates, it's just not going to make a lot of sense to me. And there's going to be a lot of websites like this that just don't make a lot of sense to me. You know, people tell me all the time, or like say all the time, like, why do you still work on like Mechanical Turk and like Connect surveys if they really don't pay anything? Well, it's like, you know, if I make 10 cents in a matter of like 30 seconds, I'm not taking up much time out of my day. I can do it on my phone and not even think about it. And it's gonna add up and I don't need to focus. It's not wasting my time really. It's just these time commitments when you have a 9 to 5 and you have to maximize each hour like I do after work. It's just not worth it for me. And also, I noticed one of my commenters, and thank you for bringing this up, I forgot your name, I apologize. They said on Trustpilot, which I didn't even know was a thing, their reviews on OneForma are not very positive. So, you know, that also is cause for alarm a little bit. But, you know, I know people who have worked on OneForma. I looked on Reddit forums, on side hustle Reddit sites, and, you know, people have been paid from OneForma, so it's a legitimate website. It's just the jobs, I was expecting better opportunities, honestly. I wasted so much time taking qualifications, like certifications and surveys. It just was not worth it for me at the end. So there is tasks on OneForma, and maybe you'll have better luck than I did with like certifications and surveys. Maybe I'm just a boring demographic as a white guy living in America. Maybe I'm just not who they're looking for. They probably want more diversity, especially if you're gonna do something like translation services. So I don't think OneForma is going to be for me. If something changes, I will absolutely update everyone like I do with everything on this channel. This channel, again, I'm trying to retire early. I showcase every single side hustle I do to try and get there. And if you're into that kind of stuff, follow along. I'll see everyone in the next video.